Recently, we started to work with GSA, General Services Administration.
In the US?
In the US. We convinced to get our first client without even starting to build a platform.
How did you guys do that?
Actually, they trusted us. We pitched them the vision, what we're trying to do. They trusted us.
What's the reaction that you get from customers when you say, hey, we're almost 90% of our workforce is in Kosovo?
It's funny because they don't think of us as a team in Kosovo.
Right.
Because we focus a lot on the solution and the problems that we solve. Everyone here is kind of forward thinking, and then they take examples from companies in United States, from companies in Europe, from all kinds of all over the world.
You get going. Good? Okay. All right, so KODE Labs, how did you guys, what do you do?
So we have built a smart building platform. It connects to hundreds of building systems, starting from heating, air conditioning, ventilations, to utility meters, to operational data such as work order systems, access control, and so on. It unifies that all, and then on top of it, it has an application layer across multiple apps, where it gives our clients a single pane of glass to manage the entire portfolio of their buildings.
Yep.
So I think it's very important also to mention our client verticals. So we have multiple client types that we serve, starting from real estate companies, which own and operate hundreds of buildings.
Yep.
They are huge funds. Then Fortune 1000 companies that have a bunch of offices around the world, including here retail clients that have thousands of stores, and then governments. So recently we started to work with GSA, General Services Administration.
In the US?
In the US.
Okay.
Yes. And then healthcare and universities. So basically, these clients use our platform to manage the entire portfolios, building portfolios at scale.
So what's the biggest problem that you're solving for those clients? Like, what's kind of underlying the reason that they're really bringing you in?
Yeah, so buildings have a lot of systems. They need to be orchestrated. If you think of it, when you have hundreds or thousands of buildings, that becomes a huge problem for you as an operator of that building. So our platform kind of unifies that all into one single pane of glass. Traditionally, they would manage it into like building level, which would be very inefficient. So with our platform, they have they have one team member managing 3 to 5 times more square foot compared to the traditional solutions. Moreover, our solution replaces, because on our industry, when we started, for all kind of domains existed one platform.
Okay.
And then it has smarter apps that help them with operational efficiencies. For example, it creates KPIs for equipment. It knows, it understands faults on the equipment and it is able to tell them. So you don't need to look at the dashboard all the time.
Yep.
It monitors the entire fleet of assets for you, and it tells you where to focus on. It tells you what to do next. It tells you with machine learning and AI when to start your equipment for tomorrow, and actually does it automatically for you instead of having operators to do it manually. So it has, first of all, it starts with a data layer, but also it has this autonomous operational layer that understands the building and is able to give you insights where to focus on the right time.
Yeah. You and your partner, they're in Detroit, right?
Yes.
Okay. So you merge your companies together and decide you're going to build KODE Labs as it is today.
Yes.
Right?
So one thing that happened that actually was an extremely important milestone for us is that we convinced to get our first client without even starting to build a platform. So
how did you guys do that?
So it was a company that my co-founders, Aiden and Gentrit, were working together previously. And they own a huge portfolio in Detroit. So if you walk through the city center there, they own the entire set of buildings there.
Yeah.
So actually, they trusted us. We pitched them the vision, what we're trying to do. They trusted us. And then we didn't also at the same time to let them down. So our first MVP demo, it was like a big wow moment for them when they saw it.
Yeah.
And then from that, like we just kept doing the same thing, iterating over the same process.
Was that essentially how you funded the company to start? Like, did that contract actually then fund you guys to continue to build?
Yes, exactly. That was it.
Yeah.
So that was our first client.
Yeah, I love that. I mean, I love that model, right? Where you're a founder and you actually use a customer to buy into your vision as your first funding round.
Yes.
You know, instead of going out and
it also helps you with a lot with building the product, because you get instant feedback.
yeah,
They explain you and help you to understand the problems better, and then that helps you to build better products.
yeah. I mean, I love that playbook, right? And you don't see founders. I don't think you don't see founders use it that much, right? But it's something that's available to everybody. If you can go out and you can sell your vision to an investor, you can do the same thing for a customer, right? And that's,
Yes.
you know, and then it's using that capital. It's the cheapest capital you're gonna possibly get for something like that.
Yes.
So what was so you get this customer in Detroit, they come in, they fund you guys. I mean, they essentially fund you through the contract to get started. What was the next big break? What was the point where you and your partner said, like, okay, this is real, right? Because I mean, what you guys have built here is
Yes.
remarkable, right?
Yes.
Where did you say, what was the moment that you guys said, we've built something real here?
So it was like when we started talking to other customers. So from every customer, we keep learning something. So then we got introduced to our first customer that they wanted to look at our platform. So we were not ready for that at that time, right? So we kind of again said, this is what we have, this is where we're going with this product. We learned a lot during that and kind of convince the second customer, and then the third one and the fourth one. So basically from each customer, we learn something, and then we validate the market. We see if multiple customers have that problem. If they do, we start a new product. So currently we have a set of 9 products on our platform, and then we build like around 2 products a year using the same playbook. Validate, look how many clients have that, create a solution for that, scale, and just repeat.
So these products that you're building, are these products that customers are asking for, or are they products that customers already are buying, and then you're going in to try to displace those?
Yeah, so it's both. So more or like kind of that they have an existing solution, but the problem is these data silos.
Yeah.
So they would have, for example, asset management in one product, another one for fault detection, another one for digital commissioning, another one just like a cloud building management system.
Yeah.
So imagine now how inefficient it is to go in all of these products to manage a building. So then they tell us, hey, like you guys have this, this, and this. This would be so complementary to everything what you have. And then we validate the market and then actually start building it. So and then they retire the existing solution. So usually that's what happens.
Yeah. So you guys have what? You've got 200 people here in Kosovo today, right? Another 30 something in Detroit.
Yes.
What's the reaction when you're selling? Like you said, the GSA in the US is a big customer. What's the reaction that you get from customers when you say, hey, we're, almost 90% of our workforce is in Kosovo?
Yeah.
What's the reaction you get?
So we have expanded recently a lot. So we have around 30 people in Detroit, but we have also team members across United States too, and Canada. So we have client success, project management, especially client success that deal directly with clients in Canada, Toronto. We have in US West, US Central, US East.
Yep.
So it's like a team. We spread the team across the country to support it, and then we have team members in London too. For our clients there, and we were starting in Australia. So the reaction actually is that it's funny because they don't think of us as a team in Kosovo,
right?
Because they really we focus a lot on the solution and the problems that we solve. So the first reaction actually happens during calls. So on our first calls when they usually don't know us,
right,
and they never met us. and sometimes when the meetings are late here. So we never tell clients, hey, you guys have to, can you do it tomorrow or something because it's late for me. So our team members jump into meetings at 10 p.m., 11 p.m. sometimes, and then they see it. And then they ask, like, what time zone are you at?
Right.
And they ask that question. And then I have been part of a lot of calls where the client was telling the entire people on the call, you see, guys, this is why these guys are the best, because they never complain. They just get work done. You see how late it is. They jump on the call. Sometimes team members jump on a call on their vacations and so on. So just to put the client first.
Yep. Is there, as you continue to build it here and build it really all over the world, are there particular advantages that Kosovo has really brought you guys to be building such a big part of the company here?
There is a lot of talent over here. So people, or the average age across the country is very, very young. We have one of the youngest average ages in Europe, I think.
Yeah.
And then what I like the most is that the everyone here is kind of forward thinking, and then they take examples from companies in United States, from companies in Europe, from all kinds of all over the world. So they don't look at the status quo over here. You have people here, like if you go to hackathons and so on, 16 years old, 14 years old, building AI agents now. So that's an extremely crucial thing that everyone has here. And then the other one is that everyone takes things very serious and things like an owner.
Right.
And then also operation of efficiency. It allows you to be more efficient budget-wise, and invest that money into R&D and the rest of the things, while still delivering the same quality as in other countries.
So you guys are able to be so much more capital efficient because you've got such a big piece of the workforce here that you're able to actually take that capital efficiency, take the dollars that would be spent, if you were building this in Silicon Valley or in New York or something like that, you're taking those dollars that you're gaining because of the capital efficiency and putting them right back into growth.
Yes, we put it in the growth and R&D. So 30 to 40% of our team constantly, because I work a lot on the product roadmaps and so on, 30 to 40% of our team focuses R&D, like thinking about new solutions now with AI, data standardization, how to make clients more efficient and so on.
I mean, one of the biggest challenges here, right, is it's not a KODE Labs issue. It's kind of a Kosovo issue. Is how do you keep your talent here? Because they're coming here, they're getting this extraordinary experience, and they're becoming marketable anywhere in the world at that point. How do you keep them here, not only in the country but in KODE Labs?
Yeah, so we built a company that actually attracts engineers because the clients that we have, like, it's not easy to get exposed to build solutions for the types of clients that we have. So that's the first one. The second one is compensation packages. So shares. So everyone here has like an opportunity to get shares. Every core team member has shares in a company, and that's extremely valuable considering that our company is growing 100 to 200% a year.
Right.
And then we also invest a lot in talent. So we have an academy, a year academy that we partnered with some other local companies here that we funded for free, basically, for a year. For young tech enthusiasts to go there and actually learn for free, and then they can come and work at KODE Labs and other companies.
So you and Jirafa started this academy, and that's how you're building that kind of next, I don't want to say generation, but that next level of talent.
Exactly.
For yourselves, for Jirafa, but also for the market in general, right?
Exactly.
All right. So basically, you're retaining them. You're building the talent with the academy program. You're retaining the talent with equity. You're retaining the talent with a really extraordinary culture, great place to work, world-class clients, things like that. Compensation's a big issue as well. I think, in a market like this?
So for compensation, we try to make it so attractive that they don't leave Kosovo.
Right.
And we have a lot of cases where we look at also, for example, to compare it with Germany, with Netherlands, with other countries in Europe, and kind of expenses, and also in Detroit. So
Yep.
we try to make those the package compensation package that it doesn't make sense for you to leave Kosovo. And I think in tech, a lot of companies are doing that. Compared to some other industries here that kind of, I think that they are still not doing it, and people are going outside Kosovo. But I think in tech, we did a very good job of kind of making that happen.
Yeah, yep. So if you just raised a Series B not too long ago, right? You raised it from North America, from a Canadian private equity fund, right?
Yeah, so that was last year. That is our lead investor.
Okay.
But also we have what is extremely important, and I would like to highlight, is that we have clients investing in us too. So we have a client that actually invested in Series A and also Series B.
Oh, no kidding.
We have some new clients that invested also in Series B too.
Yep. Do the clients, just out of curiosity, do the clients get any advantage? I mean, outside of obviously owning the equity in a really high growth company, do the clients get some advantage, some discount or anything like that by being on the cap table?
Discounts, we don't have those packages, but for example, one of them is part of our board.
Oh, that's great. So they're helping to direct the product roadmap,
Exactly.
and yeah, I mean they're a part of that process.
Exactly.
So you guys just raised a Series B, and presumably you're talking to private equity funds in the U.S. and Canada. You ended up raising out of Canada. What was the reaction when you said that so much of your company, so much of the employee base of your company is based here in Kosovo?
Yeah, so they went through a normal process of what all companies would do when they fund another company. Mm-hmm. We had multiple auditing companies working with us. They visited us.
Yep.
And then we managed to close it within 6 months. So it was in a record time.
Yeah.
And then here we kind of walk them through HR, how we manage product development, how we manage tax. We went very deep on how we create new solutions, why we create new solutions, how we're managing our clients, how we manage team members, and so on. And then also they had a lot of questions about like politics here and so on. We met them with the president of Kosovo, so they met the president. She gave them everything they wanted to know about Kosovo.
So you have investors, and they're concerned about regulation. They're concerned about what other things were they concerned about when they're looking at Kosovo as a nation, right? Where you end up getting the president to come speak on your behalf and say, no, you don't need to worry about Kosovo.
Yeah, so it was not concerns, but like, again, they have to manage the risk. It's like, I think they do it for all companies all over the world. It's not just for in our case.
Yeah.
So they have a set of checks that they want to verify. And in our case, we were talking to them, and then we actually told them this idea. You guys, we can arrange a meeting so you can go visit the president. So they really liked the idea, and they went. It was a freestyle conversation.
Yep.
We didn't inform the president for anything related to us. It was completely freestyle. They went there. They were extremely happy with that meeting and so on.
Yep. So if you were to talk to, an investor today, not only about KODE, but just about why an investor or U.S.-based founder or investor should be thinking about Kosovo as a place to set up an entity, build a team, invest in companies here, what do you tell them? Like, what's the biggest?
So I would start definitely with the talent. So we have a huge pool of talent, and it's getting bigger and bigger every day.
Yep.
People here again are very hungry for building things.
Yeah.
And they are extremely forward-looking. They look at other companies outside. They take them as an example, and so on. So it's like also the trust, and then the ownership that everyone has here. So when they commit to something, they would make it happen. So these are a couple of things that would make someone to trust you to come here and to invest and actually have a team here. So we are not just like an offshore country where we get tasks from someone that, for example, is in another country and we just execute here. We are actually creating solutions from this country.
So if you were to go start a US-based company today, and you have a US-based company, right? I mean, that's what KODE is, with a big part of it. Would you do it again? Would you build that, such a big part of the company in Kosovo again today?
100%.
Yeah.
Yes. So it's a very good motivation for everyone here, because we have seen multiple cases where we have changed the lives for our team members, families, and everyone. So it's an extremely good feeling when you see that. So now it's not about just looking at it from the business side. Even AD and Gentrit, they have this emotional attachment with Kosovo because they have lived here until 2000. So it's like also this feeling of doing something for your country on top of the business. And when these two combine with each other, then it makes a perfect match to start another company over here.
So KODE's grown 100 to 200% a year. You guys are going gangbusters. You're exploding. 5 years from now, you could be thinking about going public or doing something like that. What does the tech sector in Kosovo look like at that point, do you think?
I think that when many companies like us do it here, that it has a ripple effect on the industry,
right?
Because we expose the tech talent to bigger problems, and then we are forced to invest on the talent too. You can't, like, when you do things so fast, you can't wait and say universities, or I don't have talent, or I need another one. Like, you have to create solutions. So, and everyone would do that. We're doing it, other companies are doing it. So that ripple effect would change the entire industry. So you would have extremely experienced people, you would have extremely ready for AI, you would have kind of the scene that is like in another country or city around the world.
If you're one of those people today, right, that's here, or it's in some other office, right, that around Prishtina, thinking about starting their thing, thinking about going out and founding something like you did, what do you tell them? What advice do you give them?
Yeah, so I would say that the biggest thing that they have to figure out is to focus on what they do best. So you don't have many chances, right? You have to be ready for that. So if you're in tech, since I'm in tech, I'm going to focus here. So if you're in tech, you have to be good at it. If you say I build AI agents because now that's the time for that, you have to be good at it. When you meet with clients that need that, you have to be ready to deliver it. So that would be one of the skills that I would actually work for us all the time. So you have to be ready for that opportunity that comes. But in order for that to be ready, you need to put a lot of time and invest on that skill.
Love it. Yeah, well, you guys are building extraordinary, amazing story. Thank you.
Thank you very much.